Star Wars Direct did an article about Tony Gilroy's thoughts, quote unquote, concerning toxic fandom's behavior towards Kennedy. Not that she didn't encourage it with her treatment of the fans, or no, this is better. Not that she encouraged it by allowing the fans to be maligned by Pablo and Matt Martin, who looks like he would be great at a GameStop. Pablo's wife, Chrissy, and the rest of that scum. Hi, Dave. How you doing? I hope you got my email. I'm going to talk about that too. It's very interesting to me that Gilroy came out and said that stuff, and it was almost and saying he was shocked. Okay, first off, when he was making and writing Rogue One, Kennedy was in the middle of having fights and debates with Gareth Edwards, okay, whom during the post production process she hired another director to finish it. Now, that would have been to me, because I'm a general, I'm an objective person, that there's something wrong with this picture, with this woman. Okay, she's incapable of doing the job. Okay, now I'm gonna say this. I admire the loyalty. All right, Carrie Beck, if you're watching, I admire your loyalty. You are actually protecting Captain Queeg. All right, and the lawyer out there ready to sink her ship, played by Jose Ferrer, talking about the Kane Mutiny for you non-movie watching people, can't come in there and go after your version of Ensign Kiefer, okay? All right. But you didn't do a good job protecting her. You didn't tell her the truth. Because you guys, Tony Gilroy, Carrie Beck, Pablo Hidalgo, etc., you're so wrapped up in your activism and your political bullshit that you didn't realize you were hurting her worse than anybody, okay? All you had to do is say, we need to stop the woke stuff. The fans don't like it. And it's not Star Wars. Hi, Mike. How you doing? It's just, I mean, look, if you've ever seen the Kane Mutiny, there's a scene where Jose Ferrer comes in drunk after he finally torpedoes Humphrey Bogart's Captain Queeg. And the script is written by Herman Wouk, one of the greatest screenwriters and novelists of the 20th century, in my opinion. No one wrote a better history in the guise of fiction than Herman Wouk. If you want to read about World War II, read War and Remembrance, which is the lead up from 1939 on to 1941, and then War and Remembrance. They're that big. They're that big. And they're magnificent. Okay. But here's the deal. Let's go back. What happens is, in the movie, Captain Queeg, played by Humphrey Bogart, is a nut. And he's giving these orders about the ship that are going to get people killed. And instead of, like, husbanding him and shepherding him into a place where they can fix things for him, his staff decides they're going to rebel, and they mutiny. And they end up getting court-martialed. And Jose Ferrer's attorney is their defense attorney. And he comes in and he saves them. And Queeg ends up, I think, being kicked out or forcibly retired from the Navy. Now, we haven't had a mutiny, and I don't think we ever have. So this is kind of out there, but it's not necessarily talking about the Navy. It's talking about leadership, bad leadership, and how good staff actually protect that leader. Lucasfilm, for almost 11 years now, has been led by a fucking human disaster area. She is a nuclear waste dump of crazy, okay? And instead of pushing her towards what Star Wars is, because they agreed with every fucking thing she said, and they just ran with it and didn't. They protected her because she's their leader and she says everything they want to hear. All right. They didn't protect her because it was their job to protect her. Or now they're loyal to her. But there's a difference between being loyal to protecting your and one way, and a difference between protecting her because it protects you and it protects the company. They didn't do that. No, they didn't do that. They did it because they're loyal to her because she's a woke Karen. Okay, just like the rest of them. Even the guys are woke Karens. And I kind of sit back and go, you know, so when I watch that scene and Jose Ferrer just tears apart Fred McMurray in it, Ensign Kiefer, how you can write about it. There's a point where Lucasfilm leadership, and right now Tony Gilroy disappoints me. He should have looked at them and said at her and said, "We can't do what we want. Look, this is what's going on." Okay, I'm gonna put this in there and I'm gonna talk about the court case. This is what's going on. Disney yesterday, I think, are gonna underwrite more stuff off of Disney Plus and take it off. What is out there that can be taken off? Solo, fine. Andor, will they even finish Andor? Season 2? I mean, look, they wrote off $2 billion after writing off things like Willow and stuff. Don't be surprised, okay, if you see some names of shows that will shock you. Maybe that gay teen romance, probably that'll go. Okay. People need to watch these things to make it profitable for Disney to keep it on streaming. And they didn't. All right, so it's going to sit in the vault and dust over. Now, would it be a good idea to remove Solo from Disney? Yes, it would. Now, I tell you something else. They added all 4 Indiana Jones movies and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. So they're replacing it with stuff that might actually get people to sit down and watch. Young Indiana Jones Chronicles are great. Sean Patrick Flannery, who, by the way, is playing the bad guy, quote unquote, in the movie Nefarious. It's coming out streaming on Apple Plus. And if you want to watch something truly scary, watch it, because it basically delves into this place where this atheist psychiatrist, think of Fraser Crane, walking in to a prison trying to decide if a serial killer who's on death row can be executed or not. Is he crazy or is he sane? And then running into things he doesn't understand, okay, that he can't explain, that his science ratio doesn't explain, because there are things in heaven and earth ratio that aren't dreamt of in your science. Well, guess what? All right, and it's a movie that Father Carlos Martins and others have said, watch it. Father Martins was a technical advisor, and a lot of shit went down on that set, like cameras not working, iPhones suddenly losing power, etc. And he had to exercise the set, exercise hotel rooms they were doing interviews in, because things stopped working. The reason why is Dipty-Doo doesn't want the truth to come out, all right? So anyway, but let's not talk about that. So anyway, but no, Young Indiana Jones is great, and I suggest you watch that. Okay, I suggest you watch that. Now, I think that Gilroy was doing this out of a favor for her. He was doing this out of a need to maybe protect Andor. But him acting like he didn't know the fans were pissed off. How can you be at Star Wars Celebration? Hey, Tara. Oh, it's hi, Parabellum, and hi, Mike, and hi, Dave. You can't be standing there on the stage at Star Wars Celebration. She walks out with this look of pure disdain and hate on her face. And there's silence. And not know the fans hate her. Okay, look. I'm sorry, but she is not going to get from me because of what she did. Look at my upload today. Okay, I was gonna upload it yesterday, but I got in trouble for using too much time on one of the Disney movies, and I had to chop it in half. Okay, I had to chop it up into bits to make it work. But so my opinion is that the rumor about Kathleen Kennedy is not fandom anymore. It is out there amongst the people in Hollywood, and they are talking about it. And he is, I mean, I'm sure he has a great working relationship with her. She says jump, and he asks how high. Okay, but it just tells me that it's getting real, like Cameron said in his Patreon to me. Deny, deny, deny until it happens. And that's what's happening right now. All right, now, the Black Pills had to walk it back because they were actually a friend of mine who follows them just for information had to walk it back because they were actually agreeing with the take from Star Wars Direct. This is how stupid they are. This is how weak they are. I mean, it's bad reporting, okay? It's like, Pablo shows up in his Trojan horse and they're like, what a lovely wooden horse. I'll sign for that. I mean, anyway, so let's talk about the court case. So I haven't heard anything. Gilroy was always on Rogue One. I can't remember the name of the director that helped edit it, but Gareth Edwards left during the post production. So anyway, let's talk about, he is a fool, the court case. Apparently the Los Angeles court system pulled the digital copies, so we can't see them. Now, I'm going to say that someone, hopefully McCarthy's lawyers, had the courts yank it off. I haven't posted any of them. I know what they say. She's going to win because the Lucasfilm defense is stupid, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lucasfilm's lawyers asked for that, or maybe the judge said, get this off there. All right. I thought when I couldn't find it at first that they had settled it and it just hadn't come out. Then I found documents removed from server. There you go. So now, again, they could have it settled. Okay, stop it, Kojak. Sit down. Sit. Quit crying. He's being a jerk. I don't know what he wants. I really, really don't. Shepherds are drama kings. So we don't know what's going on, but I find it interesting. There has been no news at this point. It's a big fucking deal. We really don't have any news beyond Indiana Jones 5 is coming out. Previews will start on the 29th. I'm going to the 331 down the road here on the 29th. So I'm going to probably get in my car and do a quick car video. Just sit in my car and talk. Tomorrow I'll be at that theater for, yeah, but the director was fired, David. Not, I can't remember who the new director was. She brought in to oversee the editing, but it wasn't Gareth Edwards. When I think about Rogue One, I don't think about Tony Gilroy. I don't, because I mean, look at Andor. Nothing between Andor and Rogue One are similar. There is no Star Wars in it. We have Fiona Shaw, the stinky lesbian, screaming, "Fuck the Empire," which I'm sorry, but I don't really think that a word like that would exist. It's too familiar. Again, the people who like it don't understand the problem with Ambor is it's too familiar. Ferrix could be inner city fucking Chicago or Birmingham, England, okay? It is not Star Wars, and I'm sorry, as someone who actually appreciates romance in a movie, dykes are not romantic. That's problematic. It's not. And to sell it that way is woke. Now, if you're a dying Wolf fan and you're saying he wasn't woke, blah, 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 you let woke get by you. Okay. You're the one walking past rainbow onesies in front of Target and ignoring it. Okay. Or Cref. Instead of fuck, you say Cref. Cref the Empire. You could use the words that mean the same thing from a different language. Huttese, Rhodian, Eothian or whatever, or something from Ahsoka's species, the Togrutas. Okay. Twi'lek. Why? Okay. But it was too familiar. When you can walk around London and see exactly where that frickin' woke little weirdo filmed, it's like, I was there. I was in that place. Use the volume stage. Okay? Mando 3 at least made Coruscant look like Coruscant. Okay? Kenobi made Coruscant look like Coruscant. And, Anakin, as a young teenager, looking out towards Padme's apartment from the Jedi Temple, and there you go, okay? What I love about that scene is you don't need Padme's presence to be her actually being there, okay? That's what I love about that, and that's what that scene meant. No matter where Anakin goes, she is there, okay? And that's what makes that scene where they're dueling powerful. There is nothing like that in Ambor. But Tony Gilroy didn't want Star Wars. Okay. So it's very interesting to me that he's out there defending her. Now, you're not going to see Rian Johnson do it. He won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. First of all, Paul, no, it's not. They're the same. Okay? Neither had anything to do with fucking Star Wars. Okay? All right? Stop trying to rationalize it and stop trying to impose your opinion on people who didn't like it. There are more of us than you. Its lack of viewers prove that. Okay? And hope to God they yank it and they don't finish it, because that's going to be another pop in the face to Kennedy. And she deserves it. Okay? We are living in a pile of shit that she created by not doing her job, by being an incompetent Captain Queeg. And instead of having either an entire crew that mutinied or absolutely protected her by not letting her make decisions that were bad, they subtly let her do it. And she let them do it because she's so disconnected from reality that she would not have known what the hell was going on. Okay? Well, first off, you could have gotten Jon Favreau maybe as a director right off the bat. You probably could have gotten, because look, you give a spec script to somebody and it changes. If you look at The Empire Strikes Back from where Lee Brackett had it to where Larry Kasdan with George over his shoulder put it, they're different stories. And that script itself changed. In the script, Leia says, I love you. Han says, I love you too. Harrison Ford said, this doesn't feel right for the character. And he just ad-libbed and said, I know. He improv'd it and it worked. Okay. And sometimes that's how it works. But it was a vastly different story than what Brackett put. But she had cancer when she wrote it. And she got a writing credit because she was a well-respected writer in Hollywood. So female writers out there that, like Leslie Headland, etc., there were female writers in Hollywood back in the 50s and 60s when Lee Brackett was in her heyday. Okay, so sit on it and twirl, girlfriend. Okay. So you could take those spec scripts and, put Ahsoka in there. Put other stuff, other elements of the EU. Tell George, basically this is going to be a money-driven project, like The Empire Strikes Back, like Return of the Jedi was. And when George told Harrison Ford, I won't be able to sell dead Han Solo figures. Okay, so no, you're not this. I mean, he probably shouldn't have said it that way at the time. But there you go. But you could have done what his ideas were and melded it into something probably like The Empire Strikes Back, something bigger, something better. And, with him standing over Favreau's shoulders, with Filoni being part of it, it would have been fantastic. Trust me, Marvel would be getting its ass kicked right now. Okay, and they still would be. Because lightning in a bottle, if you do Star Wars right, you're done. You're running with the devil right there. It's awesome. And this is what Kennedy did by denying George, by standing back and letting his baby get destroyed, by imposing herself into Star Wars to the point where she wanted to steal it from him, trying to revise history, like she was always part of Star Wars. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. I don't think she had anything to do with Return of the Jedi. She wasn't there when Empire Strikes Back was filming. She was part of Steven Spielberg's crew. And I don't know, I mean, they filmed Raiders in 1980. So, she wasn't any part of that, okay? And of The Empire Strikes Back. So she, but she tried to pretend George Lucas didn't exist, which is why they tried to erase Han and reduce him and diminish him like they did to Finn. And she tried to do the same thing to Luke. And all that did was piss the fans off. And then she got mad at the fans and called the fans names. I mean, the guerrilla marketing campaign over Moses Ingram started 2 or 3 months before Kenobi. And had they not even talked about Moses Ingram being black, there would not have been a controversy. They're the ones that started it. They're the ones that used her and then ran with this narrative that never was going on until they started it. Okay, there you go. It's really interesting to me how this is all just kind of like falling into place. And it's sad. And Tony, the fact that Tony Gilroy, is acting like he didn't realize the animosity that fans had toward Kennedy. It's like, Tony, all right, you listening to me, bud? This started when they dropped the EU, okay? And then it really started going when The Force Awakens came out and what they did to Han. And then TLJ underwrote it 50,000 times. The reason why Solo failed is all of the above and the fact it's a shitty movie. It's a shitty fucking movie, okay? I don't care if you liked it or not. Everybody likes shitty movies. I think The Room is so bad I could watch it over and over again and laugh my ass off, all right? Intentionally bad movies can be funny, okay? They become cult classics, okay? But don't pretend you didn't know. And don't white knight Kennedy, because all you're doing is wasting your time. He has attacked, and I'm going to tell you guys this. Get ready. I know I'm right, because I've been right. The black pills, when Kennedy is gone, will move the goalpost back. Oh, I think they should release the Gareth cut. All right? Because that's the only way they make money. Okay, we've already got Pro and the other hyenas walking back their Star Wars Direct echo chamber. Because when I read it, I'm like, I made a video yesterday and I couldn't publish it. And then I uploaded it today after I edited it. And it basically was like, there's absolutely no reason for him. Well, Mike, George was part of that. And you got to remember that Gilroy wasn't the director. He was the writer. Okay, so he wasn't directing it. Gareth Edwards was. And then Gareth Edwards got fired and somebody else came in and oversaw post-production. Because you need your director, you need your editors, and you need your writers at post-production, okay? And I'm learning so much about filmmaking just through this writer's strike, I can't. So, Gilroy he just wrote the movie, and then he probably rewrote things because the director's like, this isn't working. All right? And, there you go. I don't think we'll ever hear about TFA. Rogue One, we kind of have a taste of it. And The Rise of Skywalker, when this book comes out by the SJW, now I'm going to tell you what's going on here. SJW LGBTQ plus chick, pissed off at Lucasfilm Kennedy era for racism. Watch them eat their own, all right? It's going to be fantastic. So will JJ say anything? Maybe. Okay. At least JJ isn't half the racist that Ryan Johnson is, because Ryan Johnson, how could you put Kelly Marie Tran into a gunny sack? All right, you know, right. Every time I think of TLJ, I think everything about that movie was disjointed fuckery. Okay, it was a disjointed fuck you to everybody, to George, to the fans, to Mark Hamill, to Carrie Fisher, and to the original trilogy. Right? I mean, you can't tell me you like that movie and are a Star Wars fan. You can't sit there and rationalize that in your head. A man's actions tell more about him than his words do. Okay. And watching Ryan Johnson talk about making TLJ, it's like, you hate this, you hate everything about it. What the fuck are you talking about, you weird little man? You weird, soulless little pissant. Okay. So, all right, so we got that. But this is what you get from a first draft without a grown up on the set. Well, Ryan Johnson intentionally did what he did. J.J. Abrams is just an incompetent boob. You know, he knew Steven Spielberg. He made his name by being a yes man. And he was successful with Lost. And regarding Henry, he wrote it and was a producer. But it's really funny how Mike Nichols, who was the director, was the one that got shit on for that movie, and it was a good movie. I mean, you know, after watching Harrison Ford talk about it, it's very interesting because you really like that character Allie Fox, because Allie Fox is full of shit, and he's like, well, that's a place to start. There's a great interview. It's on YouTube right now by Esquire with him, and it's so freaking. He's so cool. I can't. He just is. He's so cool that I mean I just you know just you know but you know I'm gonna tell you guys, when Kennedy's gone, we, the fans, including the ones who are pushing the goalpost back, are going to be thrown under the bus. They're going to take the bait because they're stupid. Okay? They're fucking stupid. They're like a pack of hyenas. I mean, the average lion cub is smarter than a hyena. Okay? I'm probably wrong on that. But, you know, my dog is smarter than that. Okay? But they're going to take the bait. We won't. All right? Kennedy is probably, I mean, I wouldn't doubt she told him and then blamed the fans, okay? I wouldn't doubt she told him and blamed us, because it just makes sense, you know, that they're letting me go after Indy 5 comes out. Oh, Kennedy, I'm so sorry. Why? The fans hate me. Blah, blah, blah. They didn't want to go to any of my movies. Well, that's because the movies suck. And that's because you let, you know, your incorrigible man babies at Lucasfilm run roughshod over us. Okay? They didn't stop and think, is this a good idea? You know, is the High Republic a good idea? You know, Claudia, maybe you want to thank the Rock Navigator. Ryan, maybe you want to rethink the purple-haired Vice Admiral Gender Studies character wearing the fucking ball gown. Okay. That in of itself is just like, you know, I mean, we're making Star Wars, not a fucking political statement, you little pissant. Yes, a ship called Vessel. And remember, And remember, let's get to your thing right away, Paul, your question. And remember, it's piloted by a celibate, gay pilot that looks like Matt McConaughey. Okay, so I think that George has quietly been back. Um, and I think once she's gone, I think we will see him on the sets of Mandalorian season 4. Ahsoka, we'll get pictures of him on the set of Ahsoka. The next season of Ahsoka, if they make that, and I'm pretty sure they will. I can't wait. Um, and we'll see more of him. Uh, John loves him. He respects him. No matter what Ryan Cannell and WDW Pro and the rest of that uh, sewage thinks. Okay. And Mike is right. They are on our side because we're on the side of George Lucas, Star Wars. Okay. And you got to, the one thing that Harrison Ford liked about working with Lucas and Spielberg is that it was a collaboration. He was he created the character, but he was allowed to add his own thing to it and to make that character unique, which is really interesting to me. I mean, and if he's on a set, he's been coaching Favreau on the set too. What I find interesting is watching all this going on and seeing how it's all coming together. There's big shit happening. I mean, we know that Iger wants to talk to Lucas Legal behind closed doors. We haven't heard if it's happened yet. We know that the HR departments and the HR department at Lucasfilm has been cordoned off from the rest. Is talking to Disney HR. And it's just, Star Wars Direct and Jason Ward, who, comes up with this stupid Tamara Morrison's gonna be in Mandalorian season 4. We knew that. We knew that. The reason why he wasn't in season 3 is because they had to gut season 3 for Boba Fett because Kennedy couldn't be kept away while John was away. All right? It's like God turns his head this way and Lucifer's running around. Well, I can't wait to see his museum either. It's going to be great. I am just waiting patiently now. We haven't. I mean, look, nothing about the Acolyte, and now that they're saying they're going to drop more stuff off of Disney Plus, I wouldn't be surprised to see Andor being cut off. They need to save money. All right. I wouldn't be surprised to see Solo cut off. Find me an actor in that movie besides not even Joe Suotomo, that deserves the residuals. All right. No. And the quicker that thing is memory hold, the quicker they can get on to fixing what they broke from the character. So if you're a Solo fan, better get on your Amazon and buy that DVD or Blu-ray. Because I ain't. And despite I don't think this will happen, watch sequel trilogy get either cut off from 1 through 6 and put into a pocket universe of its own on Disney Plus, or taken off as well. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that is a possibility. All right. And again, though I'd hate to see I would hate to see, oh yeah, that's great, Mike. I would hate to see Harrison Ford lose out on residuals from TFA and Tross. I'd hate to see Carrie Fisher's estate lose out on residuals. And I'd hate to see Mark Hamill lose out. But those movies have damaged Star Wars so much. And they're still there, causing, the Black Pill Club to, basically use them to hit Filoni in the head, to hit Favreau in the head. All right. And it's like, maybe they should take those off too. Maybe you wipe the slate clean, put them in their own pocket universe, either on Disney Plus, and they're not part of Star Wars. You call them Star Wars Alter Universe or something like that, Adventures, or taken off. But I don't think they'll be taken off. However, after reading the articles yesterday about what Disney wants to do, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Oh, that would be interesting, Lone or Cross, but I think Alter Universe, or I would just, or to piss all the fanboys off that like it, like Pablo, Expanded Universe, Legends, call it Legends. You know, um, there's such a ripe uh, archive of stuff they can use to fix Star Wars. Revan, a trilogy of Revan movies, a Darth Bane trilogy. They talk about going all the way to the Dawn of the Jedi. They talk about, I would like to see a movie. I mean, I would like to see Han Solo's story fixed. First off, they started too early. Second of all, they the story of Han and Chewie meeting is just. I wanted Chewbacca to eat him. That's how much I hate Alden Ehrenreich as Han. He made me dislike the character. I didn't care about him. And I'll never understand why people like it. And yesterday I got into a fight with somebody, posting on their Facebook page, make Solo 2 happen. The fuck do you know anything about business? Do you know how much money they lost? $250 million. There's no fucking way they're gonna do that. Okay? Anyway, so yeah, they pulled the court documents off from the Los Angeles County Courthouse system. So somebody got upset, and I'm hoping that we didn't get Karen's attorneys upset. We're not trying to. I want her to kick Lucasfilm's asses. So if it was my fault that they were pulled, I'm sorry. If it's Lucasfilms, what are you afraid of? All right? What are you afraid of? Parabellum, I don't know if the full scripts, look, they're treatments, which is not the same as a script, okay? They're treatments. And I don't know, okay? You could use what's in them and expand the story. What did I say about, I have love repeating myself and people not remembering. Yes, outlines. Oh, I know. He's just, I mean, just, he's horrible. A script treatment doesn't survive the outline because it's not even an outline really. And it doesn't survive the first draft, which doesn't survive the second draft, or the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, or the sixth. Okay? How many rewrites did the Indy 5 script get till they had a script they wanted? And then how much was rewritten after Iger and Chapek went, what the fuck? Okay. And yes, the rumors were correct. There is a version of Indy 5 where he stays back in time and or dies. I don't know if it's back in time or dies. And she thinks and she keeps the whip and the hat. But I think after the bosses Evan Andor's been filming. They had to stop filming because of the strike. That happened about 4 weeks ago. Um, I haven't really seen the outlines, and I don't really care about. And they're not outlines; they're treatments. There's a difference. Yeah, we wanted Michael Arndt's script, and we didn't get it. And it sounds to me like he went overboard in his respect to what George wanted with in concerning the OT heroes. Um, you know, uh, and you know, you know, in fact, when Harrison Ford asked that reporter in from Esquire, when the reporter goes, "Who do you think could win a fight, Han Solo or Indiana Jones?" And he goes, "Why the fuck are you asking me that question? It's a stupid question." Um, I think he feels he was disloyal to George and Mark and Carrie. By the way, he kind of played along with the big bunch of bullshit that he hated the character. Because when you see him behind the scenes with TFA, and I use that in one of my videos, he doesn't hate Han. He just wanted the character to be, in his words, useful, like to do something. And again, I look at George and say, why did you have Lando lead the, the rebel strike force into the Death Star? You know, there's a whole idea going on here that you could have had Lando. They end up, they're in the snow, they're in the sandstorm, and Lando turns around and says, well, goodbye, Han, goodbye, Leia, blah, blah, blah. And Han knocks him on his ass. Luke is going, oh, God. Leia's like, Han, he helped us. You know, Han helps him up and he goes, you earned that. And then Lando goes, yeah, I did. Will I say yeah? At blah, blah, blah. We got to figure out how to get that garrison out of Cloud City. And Han says, when we're done with what we're going to do, I'll be there and we'll figure it out. Okay. I think that would work. Why didn't they do that? You know, as much as we all loved Billy D. Williams in Return of the Jedi, he almost was kind of wasted as going as far as he did. Okay, now think about this. You have a main character played by an actor who feels like his character is being wasted because this other character is taking the spot he should have been in. Okay? And I'm looking at this going, if it would have done it that way, it would have been fine. Okay? And you know, you could also shut Larry Kasdan's mouth right there with that. Okay? Nothing was set in stone. Billy D. Williams gets his money for the Job of the Hutt thing. And there you go. All right. I don't know if they're going to make it a trilogy because I think what they're doing now, if they do make it a trilogy, yeah, he kind of did, didn't he? When they do make it a trilogy, uh, it's going to be add elements of Mandoverse. So you're going to see Ahsoka, you're going to see Mando, you're going to see Fett, etc. But I think Conran is right about Han, Luke, and Leia being the integral parts of it, which is why I just talked about Luke. Which is why uh, um, uh, shit, I lost my train of thought, of course. Which is why, shit, I can't remember what I was talking about because I got taken out of it by the chat. You know, I think that then you could have kept Lando, the gambler and hustler that he was, on the fringe of society. You know, you get Cloud City back. And, you know, they get Han and Lando, maybe with or without Leia, though I think Leia, just by her nature, would not have let Han go do that by himself. They go and help liberate Cloud City because, again, remember, even in the Mandoverse, we have elements of the Empire. And the garrison or garrisons at Cloud City were not at the Death Star when it got blown up. Okay. But, you know, we just got to see what happens. Yeah, I think we are going to get a Thrawn trilogy. What they're waiting for is to see how people feel about the de-aging of Indiana Jones. And it looks good. No, I don't understand what you're saying, Mike. You know, it's just, look, I mean, again, Lando and Han kind of have a half confrontation. Lando leaves to go to work on gathering people to go. Yes, of course I said that. Cameron said that. I mean, why wouldn't they be? All right. They have to fix them. People are not going to come back to Star Wars unless they see the sequel trilogies in the dumpster fire, where it belongs. Okay. They're not going to go to see Heir to the Empire if it's Ahsoka. Because, look, she's popular with fanboys, but she's not popular with the general public. I think Christopher Nolan could. I think James Mangold could. Really? Where, T.S. Wade, where did you hear that? Please don't say in a rumor. Is there like a link to a Deadline article or something else? Okay. Um, if that's the case, then Pixar's getting cleaned out. All right. I think Marvel should be, but they're busy making um, Captain America, New World Order. Harrison Ford's in Atlanta. I'm sure he's like, this weather sucks, because it does. Uh, this is um, really, it's going to be amazing. Um, I think the next few weeks. And tomorrow night, I mean, at this time tomorrow, I'm going to be driving to the theater to see Raiders of the Lost Ark in the theater, which I haven't seen in a theater since 1981. Uh, I don't, I was never one to go to revivals. And, I really think that George should be talked into letting the original theatrical releases of the original trilogy out, just so people could see what they look like the way we saw them. Um, and then look at what he changed. Uh, the theatrical releases were, I'm not saying they were better, but the only thing they changed I really didn't like was removing Sebastian Shaw and putting in Hayden, and I love Hayden. Anakin Skywalker is what? My second favorite character in Star Wars. Okay. And they took the character that played him as an older man and replaced him. And it's like, you know, Evan, that's a really good idea. That's a really, really good idea. I know he's in Hungary. I know you'd have to do a mea culpa if you're George Lucas. Um, and which would, I mean, look, having to go and say you're sorry to people that you fucked over, and Rick McCallum was, sucks. Okay, but George made the mistake of trusting crazy. There you go. Um, Wade, I gotta go soon because I have to go change my shirt because I gotta go to mass and at 3. So I'll give you 5 more minutes, but that's it. All right. Um, but yeah, I think having Rick McCallum come back and work with Jon Favreau to fix what's. I mean, I would just look. You can do so. Either post the link or send it to me on Twitter or something. Um, yeah, well, the no when Padme died, and no, you're not going to kill my son too. Which kind of makes you wonder. Was Palpatine responsible for Padme dying? All right. Now, granted, we know that people can die of broken hearts due to stress. Um, uh, Debbie Reynolds. Oh yeah, you talk to me on my Twitter. All right, just put the link up here, okay? All right, there it is. Okay, it's Reuters. Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you, thank you, Wade. He found me. He found me. I saw it. So I don't know if he's gonna bring back Luthen. I wish he would. You just tweeted me Parabella. Uh, okay, he just tweeted me Parabellum. Don't worry about it. Um, I have to send that to Cameron. I have to read it and send it to Cameron. So I'm gonna go. Will Rick McCallum come back? No, I would like him to. Even when Kathy's gone, I don't think he will. Fact of the matter is, a lot of water went under the bridge, and unlike me, he probably holds a lot of grudges, right? And I only hold grudges towards people like Kennedy and Pablo and the rest of Kennedy's flying monkeys. If I thought for 1 minute that they had pure intentions, I probably would, but I know they don't. Okay, anyway. So, no news on the Karen McCarthy ruling, if there is one. The documents have been yanked. And if it was our fault talking about it, sorry. Tony Gilroy probably has heard officially in the Hollywood rumor mill that Kennedy's about to get the axe. So I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. I've been on for an hour. See you around the galaxy.